Hi, good morning, dear students. I am Kshitija Doshi, and I hope that you all are fine and safe at home. We were studying history of English drama. आपण history of English drama शिकतोय. We studied introduction in that. आपण काय काय शिकलो हे बघूयात पहिल्यांदा. Which sections we completed firstly, and then we will move to the next section in this topic. First we completed introduction, then we completed definition of drama, then we completed types of drama, then elements of drama, areas of focus in drama. We also completed introduction to English theatre. Then we completed Elizabethan theatre. This actually 7 sections we completed in this chapter or in this section. We will just go to the mind maps which we saw of after the areas of focus, then introduction to English theatre and Elizabethan theatre. आपण फक्त माइंड मॅप्स रिवाइज करूयात जे आपण बघितलेले होते ते आणि नंतर मग we will start with our next section, that is the restoration theatre. So we will see the mind map which we saw. The first mind map was of the introduction of drama. फर्स्ट माइंड मॅप कुठला होता तर आपला इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ ड्रामाचा माइंड मॅप होता जो आपण बघितला होता तो. सो वी विल जस्ट स्टडी दिस माइंड मॅप. आपण तो फक्त रिवाइज करून घेऊयात. So in introduction of drama we saw the meaning of drama. What is drama? Drama is a loud striking larger than life performer which comprises of audio and visual components. हे आपण बघितलेलं आहे. Then audience, they should be able to see clearly, hear clearly, and there should be willing suspension of the. Then we saw difference between drama, novel, or a story, and a poetry. We saw definition of drama. There were 2 definitions of drama. One was from short Oxford dictionary, and another was from glossary of literature. ह्या दोन्ही मधले आपण definitions बघितलेले आहेत. Then we saw types of drama. आपण types of drama बघितले. The main types of drama are tragedy, comedy, and tragic comedy. In comedy, we saw there are some again subtypes like romantic, sentimental, classical, comedy of humors, and comedy of man. Okay. Then we saw areas of focus in drama. We saw that the in drama the area of focus is on theme, audience, character, and actor. Okay. And then we saw the elements of drama. The elements of drama were plot, character, characterization, dialogue, stage direction, conflict, and then the last was theme. This was the first tree diagram which we saw. Then it consisted of all the sections in the introduction of drama. जो पहिला सेक्शन आहे इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ ड्रामा त्याच्यामधले सगळे पार्ट इथे कंप्लीट झालेले आहेत. ओके. सो वी सॉ दिस. Then we will move to our next tree diagram, or you can say next mind map. You can say we saw the mind map of medieval period. हा पहिला पिरियड आहे ड्रामा मधला तो medieval period which was from 11th century to 15th century. जो आपण काल बघितलेला आहे त्याचा आपण एक रिकॅप घेऊयात. ओके. So medieval period was from 11th, as you can see, it was from 11th to 15th century. Then at first origin in the folk theatre, it had origin in the folk theatre, and it was not considered, drama was not considered as a part of literature. Drama हा काही part of literature consider केला जात नव्हता. Why it was not considered as a part of literature? Because literature is expressed in words while drama is a multiple art. हे पण आपण बघितलं की ना drama हे multiple art आहे. It is consistent of so many things like dialogue, then gestures, and then stage direction and so many things. So it was not considered a part of literature. Then Romans actually built amphitheaters in England. When Romans were in England, they built amphitheaters in England. It was before 10th century. 10th centuryच्या अगोदरची गोष्ट आहे ज्यावेळेस रोमन्स आले इंग्लंडमध्ये आणि त्यांनी amphitheaters built केले. But when Romans departed, this amphitheater tradition was ended. ही जी amphitheater जी tradition आहे ती end झालेली होती रोमन्स जशी डिपार्ट झाले तसे. ओके. Then we saw that in 10th century the minstrels followed actually. 10th century मध्ये मिनिस्टर्स होते. ते मिनिस्टर्स काय करायचे, they used to sing, actually they used to sing the stories. ते sing करायचे and then in that singing they used to present the story. Then in 10th century, drama became the fundamental part of the play. At first, it was not a fundamental part of the play. It was just at the beginning for the entertainment of audience. It was played entertainment नुसार ऑडियन्स साठी त्यांच्यासाठी ते प्ले केलं जायचं 10th centuryच्या अगोदर. पण आता हा फंडामेंटल पार्ट झाला. In 12th century, the drama changed and there came mystery plays and miracle plays. Mystery plays आणि miracle plays ला चालू झालं. Mystery plays म्हणजे काय? These plays were such plays which were based on life of Jesus Christ. Life, Jesus Christच्या लाईफ वरती बेस्ट असणारे ते प्लेस होते. We were called as mystery plays and miracle plays were on the life of saints. These plays were played so that all the people should be attracted towards church. चर्चकडे त्यांनी अट्रॅक्ट व्हावं म्हणून त्यांनी हे प्लेस प्ले केले जायचे. They showed whatever the mysteries Jesus Christ did and whatever the miracles the saints did हे ते सगळे दाखवत होते. In 13th and 14th century, the dramas became less religious. हे जे 13th आणि 14th century मध्ये जे काही प्लेस होते ते सगळे less religious झाले. ते कमी रिलीजियस झाले आणि नंतर मग काय झाले तर मोरॅलिटी प्लेस झाले. where there were representation of good and evil qualities. रिप्रेझेंटेशन होतं कॅरेक्टर्सचे जे रिप्रेझेंटेशन होतं ते कशाचं होतं तर गुड आणि इव्हिल क्वालिटीजचं रिप्रेझेंटेशन होतं. Means the heroes were having good qualities, the villains were having evil qualities, and these actually morality plays third way for Elizabethan period. त्यांनी काय केलं तर मग एलिझाबेथन पिरियड साठी एक रस्ता तयार केला ऍक्च्युली. सो विच वॉज ऍक्च्युली द गोल्डन पिरियड इन इंग्लिश लिटरेचर. नंतर मग नोटेबल वर्क्स होते ह्या पिरियड मधले कुठले होते. रॉबिनहुड होतं आणि एव्हरीमॅन होतं. This was the medieval period which we saw yesterday. Then we saw Elizabethan theatre and we will just see what we saw in the Elizabethan theatre in this mind map. या माइंड मॅप मध्ये आपण एलिझाबेथन थिएटर आपण बघणार आहोत. So it is called as Renaissance period also. It was from 1562 to 1642. त्याला रेनेसन्स पिरियड असं पण म्हटलं जातं. 1562 पासून 1642. Renaissance means the beginning of new things. That was this period, and actually it was beginning of new things because at that time the England started to accept very pretty much new things. They were they were accepting the science, art. ते जे ऍक्सेप्ट करत होते ते होते सायन्स आणि आर्ट मधले जे काही नवीन डिस्कवरीज येत होत्या त्या सगळे ते ऍक्सेप्ट करत होते. अँड देन दे वेर ऍक्च्युली वॉयजिंग अक्रॉस इंग्लंड ऑल्सो. ते युरोपच्या बाहेर सुद्धा वॉयजेस करायला त्यांनी सुरुवात केली होती. सो इट वॉज अ रेनेसन्स पिरियड. नाव इन दिस पिरियड मोरॅलिटी स्पॅड वे फॉर एलिझाबेथन प्लेस. एलिझाबेथन प्लेस साठी मोरॅलिटीजनी एक वे तयार केलेला होता. कल्चरल अँड आर्टिस्टिक मुवमेंट लेड ग्राउंडवर्क फॉर आर्ट्स अँड ड्रामा. दिस वॉज अ कल्चरल आर्टिस्टिक मुवमेंट. कल्चरल आणि आर्टिस्टिक मुवमेंट होता आणि त्यांनी ग्राउंडवर्क केलं होतं आर्ट्स आणि ड्रामासाठी. अँड व्हॉट दे फोकस्ड ऑन, दे फोकस्ड ऑन ब्रिंगिंग बॅक द क्लासिकल व्हॅल्यूज. क्लासिकल व्हॅल्यूज जे होते means in arts and science, whatever the classical values were there, they focused on bringing that. The notable dramatists in this Elizabethan period were Somerset, Christopher Marlowe, Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, Webster and Dekker. Okay, हे सगळे notable dramatists होते. Kate discovered blank work. जी पोएट्री लिहिली म्हणजे जो काही नाटक लिहिलं गेलं त्या काळामध्ये शेक्सपियर कडनं ते ब्लँक वर्क मध्ये होतं. ब्लँक वर्क मीन्स व्हॉट? There was rhythm, there was in a poetic style it was written actually, and tragedy was developed in hands of Shakespeare and Marlowe. Shakespeare as well as his peers work is also valuable. Ben Jonson was one important dramatist at this time. He was a classicist, moralist and a reformer. तो रिफॉर्मर होता, क्लासिस्ट होता अँड मोरलिस्ट होता. ही वॉज नोन फॉर हिज वर्क ऑन कॉमेडी. तो कॉमेडीच्या वर्कसाठी इम्पॉर्टंट होता. In 1590s, English theatre was fully established. इंग्लिश थिएटर हा फुल्ली एस्टॅब्लिश झाला होता. 1590s पर्यंत पूर्णपणे तो एस्टॅब्लिश झालेला होता. And how was the theatre? You can see here. In 16th century, the theatre was open to sky. It was open to sky. We saw the pictures also. Open to sky होता. No artificial light नव्हतं. म्हणजे त्यावेळेस तर लाईट नावाचा जास्त प्रकार पण नव्हता. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नावाचा प्रकार नव्हता. So there were no artificial light. Stage was a raised platform. There were no curtains. Stage was surrounded by audience on three sides and there were galleries around the theatre. Galleries होते theaterच्या आसपास. Okay. In 1642, what happened? The Puritans closed the theatre. Puritans closed केलं theatre and the golden period in English literature came to end. Okay. These Puritans were actually the Catholics which we saw. They actually they actually focused on taking all the public to the churches instead of some enjoyment. They thought that the public is not allowed to do the enjoyment. त्यांना असं वाटत होतं की त्यांना enjoyment करण्याचा काही हक्क नाहीये. When they have got free time, what they should do, they should pray to the God. So these were the Puritans and these were Catholics. They closed these theatres. There was civil war. The civil war was between Catholics and Protestants. Catholics and Protestants मध्ये civil war होता. And so no theatre existed between 1642 to 1660. ह्या 18 ते 20 वर्षाच्या काळामध्ये कुठलंही theatre exist केलं नाही इंग्लंडमध्ये. Then notable works of this period were Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer Night's Dream, Henry IV by Shakespeare, Dr. Faustus and Jew of Malta by Christopher Marlowe, Duchess of Malfi by John Webster, and Changeling by Thomas Middleton. Okay, so the Changeling by Thomas Middleton. तर हे आपण काल बघितलेलं आहे एलिझाबेथन पिरियडचं. ओके, सो वी आर गोइंग टू मूव नाउ टू द नेक्स्ट पिरियड. आपण आता नेक्स्ट पिरियडला मूव करूया. दॅट इज द रेस्टोरेशन पिरियड. This restoration period actually began with King Charles coming on the throne of England. King Charles हा throne वरती आला इंग्लंडच्या आणि मग restoration period ला सुरुवात झालेली आहे. The restoration period actually was from 1660 onwards. हा जो 1660 च्या नंतरचा हा पिरियड होता. King Charles हा throne वरती आला 1660 मध्ये and then this period started. It is called as restoration period because again the dramas came to existence in this period. म्हणजे जे dramas हे 1642 मध्ये जे बंद पडलेले होते ते डायरेक्टली नंतर restoration period मध्ये चालू झाले. म्हणजे किंग चार्ल्स ज्यावेळेस throne वरती आला, तो ज्यावेळेस गादीवरती आला किंग चार्ल्स टू, त्याच्या रेन मध्ये त्याच्या असं म्हणा की ना तो ज्यावेळेस राज्य करत होता त्यावेळेस त्यांनी परत नाटकांना सुरुवात केली. त्याच्या कोर्ट्समध्ये परत नाटकं व्हायला सुरुवात झाली. सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज रेस्टॉरेशन. रेस्टॉरेशन मीन्स टू रिस्टोअर समथिंग. रेस्टॉरेशन म्हणजे काय, तर मग काहीतरी गोष्ट रिस्टोअर करणे म्हणजे रेस्टॉरेशन. ओके, तर स्टार्ट दिस विथ दिस पिरियड नाउ. Restoration. Okay, so after the restoration a very different kind of literature was produced. In this period a completely different kind of literature was produced. That's the Renaissance period. Renaissance period मध्ये जे लिटरेचर प्रोड्यूस झालं, ज्या क्वालिटीचं लिटरेचर प्रोड्यूस झालं त्याच्यापेक्षा कम्प्लिटली वेगळ्या क्वालिटीचं वेगळ्या पद्धतीचं लिटरेचर रेस्टोरेशन मध्ये प्रोड्यूस झालेलं होतं आणि त्याच्यानंतर सुद्धा ते वेगळ्या पद्धतीचं लिटरेचर त्याच्यानंतर सुद्धा प्रोड्यूस झालं. दिस रेस्टोरेशन पिरियड वॉज फ्रॉम 1660 टू 1707. हा पिरियड बघा 1660 टू 1707 इतका हा पिरियड होता. सो नोटेबल ड्रामाटिस्ट ऑफ दिस टाइम वेअर थॉमस डेकर, then George Chapman, then Thomas Middleton, then Webster, and George Etheredge. These were the notable dramatists of this time. हे नोटेबल ड्रामेटिस्ट होते ह्या टाइम मध्ये, म्हणजे रेस्टोरेशनच्या टाइम मध्ये हे नोटेबल ड्रामेटिस्ट होते ज्यांनी ह्या काळामध्ये प्लेस दिले. नाव with the restoration of 1660, Charles II resumed to power and the theatres were reopened. Restoration period मध्ये काय झालं, हा जो आहे हा चार्ल्स टू आहे, he is King Charles II, and in 1660 he came to the power. Means he defeated the, you can say he defeated the Catholics, he defeated the churches, and then he resumed to power. He came to the power and the theatres were then again reopened. Now, in this restoration period, comedy reached to its peak. ह्या पिरियड मध्ये कुठले कुठले प्ले केले गेले, तर कॉमेडी जे प्लेस होते ते शक्यतो कॉमेडीज हे प्ले केले गेले. यू कॅन सी द पिक्चर हिअर. दिस इज द पिक्चर ऑफ कॉमेडी. ऍक्च्युली सगळेजण हसतात तुम्हाला असं दिसेल. नो वन इज क्राईंग हिअर, सो दिस इज restoration comedy and all the people are laughing and making merry making here. So this kind of plays actually reach to the peak. या हे जे काइंड ऑफ प्लेज आहेत हे एकदम पीकला गेले. दे वर ऑन द टॉप ॲट दिस पिरियड. ओके, सो नाउ देर वर क्लास ड्रामा ॲक्च्युअली ड्युरिंग दिस पिरियड. just see the picture first. You will understand what is class drama. Class drama was such a drama which was dependent on the beliefs of the higher class people only. हायर क्लास पीपलचे जे काही बिलीफ्स आहेत त्याच्यावरती ते हा क्लास ड्रामा डिपेंड होता. सो यू कॅन सी हिअर द लेडी इज ॲक्च्युअली मेरी मेकिंग. शी इज जस्ट सिटिंग देअर आयडली. शी इज फ्रॉम व्हेरी हायर क्लास सोसायटी. See here also these the people are from the higher class society and they are enjoying just merrymaking. ते काय करतायत तर merrymaking enjoy करतायत. So this was the higher class drama actually. Now see the drama developed in the class drama which was based on the characteristics and beliefs of upper class. आपण आता सुद्धा बघतो की ना अप्पर क्लास मध्ये काय चालतं. आपल्या जे मिडल क्लास जे आपण लोक आहोत, we follow all the rules of the society and everything. And you can see in the upper class people what happens in the upper class people. ह्या upper class people मधले जे काही beliefs असतात, जे काही characteristics असतात, they are completely different from whatever the beliefs we have. Okay, so actually you can see that in upper class people they have got affairs with many ladies and so many things are going on. They have, and now you can see that the social sin case is going on and so many drug cases also going on. These are the characteristics and beliefs of upper class people. Okay, so in the same way at that time also there were some characteristics and beliefs of upper class people. They enjoyed merrymaking. They enjoy करायचे merrymaking, and on this actually beliefs of upper class people the dramas were made. Actually this was a satire on them. हा हे क्रिटिसिझम होता, हे सटायर होतं त्यांच्यासाठी. म्हणजे आपण असं म्हणू की ही टीका होती त्यांच्यावरती, म्हणजे जे काही प्रॅक्टिसेस ते करतायत त्याच्यावरती ते टीका होती. बट द पीपल इन दिस पिरियड वेर नॉट सो इंटेलिजंट. ते इतके इंटेलिजंट नव्हते की ना 16th सेंचुरी मध्ये जे इंटेलिजंट किंवा एलिझाबेथन पिरियड मध्ये जितकं ऑडियन्स इंटेलिजंट होता तितकं ते इंटेलिजंट नव्हते. अँड सो दे डिड नॉट अंडरस्टँड that this is satire on us. त्यांना हे समजतच नव्हतं की नाही हे आपल्यावरती एक सटायर आहे, हे क्रिटिसिझम आहे. They thought that it is just depicting what we are doing and whatever we are doing is very good thing. आपण जे करतोय तेच ते डिपिक्ट करतोय आणि आपण जे करतोय ते बरोबरच करतोय. And this lasted beyond. Now this type of dramas actually lasted beyond this period into the first decade of 18th century. अशा टाईपचे जे ड्रामाज आहेत, हे जे ड्रामाज आहेत हे ड्रामाज सगळे 18th century पर्यंत, फर्स्ट डेकेड ऑफ 18th century पर्यंत असेच ड्रामाज चालू राहिलेले आहेत. ओके, then see how was 17th century theater. 17th century theater was completely different from the 16th सेंचुरी थिएटर पेक्षा 17th सेंचुरी थिएटर हा कम्प्लिटली डिफरंट होता. How was it in 17th century? Enclosed theater gained importance. म्हणजे आपण बघितलं की ना 16th सेंचुरीचा जो थिएटर होता तो कसा होता, तर इट वॉज ओपन टू स्काय, तो क्लोज नव्हता. ओके, बट नाव 17th century theater was a closed theater. ओके, enclosed होता. इट वॉज क्लोज्ड ऑन ऑल द साइड, टॉप पण क्लोज केलेलं होतं, सगळं क्लोज होतं. अँड then there was increasing attention to scenic device as the theater became private. So you can see here that the scenes were there actually. At the background the scenes were there. म्हणजे जंगलचा सीन दाखवायचा किंवा मग बाकीचे सीन्स दाखवायचे, ह्याच्यावरती तिथे फोकस होत होता 17th सेंचुरी मध्ये. का तर थिएटर हे प्रायव्हेट झाले. They were not open to sky. They became private. They were limited to only upper class people. ते upper class peopleशीच लिमिटेड होते आणि म्हणून ते प्रायव्हेट झाले. आणि मग अटेन्शन गेलं तर सिनिक डिव्हायसेसला. सिनिक डिव्हायसेस डेव्हलप व्हायला त्या काळापासून ऍक्च्युली सुरुवात झाली आहे.
Now see, in this period, actually comedy of manners developed. George Etheridge was famously known for his work on comedy of manners. In this period, comedy of manners actually developed. It was developed completely in this period. बरं, ह्या पिरियडमध्ये कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स पूर्णपणे डेव्हलप झालेलं होतं. जॉर्ज इथेरिज वॉज फेमसली नोन फॉर हिज वर्क ऑन कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स. अँड नाव लिसन टू द डेफिनेशन ऑफ कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स. आय नो यू हॅव हर्ड इट बिफोर. तुम्ही आधी पण ऐकलेली आहे डेफिनेशन, बट स्टील आय वॉन्ट यू टू हिअर इट अगेन. व्हॉट इज कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स? आपण बघितलं कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स म्हणजे काय. दिस कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स वॉज ॲक्च्युअली ऑन द बिलीफ्स ऑफ द पीपल. आपण बघितलेलं आहे की ना ते बिलीफ्स होतं पीपलवरती, त्यांच्या सोशल स्टँडिंगवरती. इट वॉज अ कॉमेडी. सो यू हिअर टू दिस कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स. कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स म्हणजे काय हे ऐकून घ्या.
Comedy of manners is an entertainment form which satirizes the manners and affectations of a social class or of multiple classes, often represented by stereotypical stock characters. For example, the Miles Gloriosus, boastful soldier in ancient times, the fat and the rake during the English Restoration, or an old person pretending to be young. Restoration comedy is used as a synonym for comedy of manners. The plot of the comedy, often concerned with scandal, is generally less important than its witty dialogue. A great writer of comedies of manners was Oscar Wilde, his most famous play being The Importance of Being Earnest. The comedy of manners was first developed in the New Comedy of the ancient Greek playwright Menander. His style, elaborate plots, and stock characters were imitated by the Roman playwrights Plautus and Terence, whose comedies were widely known and copied during the Renaissance. The best-known comedies of manners, however, may well be those of the French playwright Molière, who satirized the hypocrisy and pretension of the ancien regime in such plays as L'École des Femmes, The School for Wives, 1662, The Misanthrope, 1666, and most famously Tartuffe, 1664. The comedy of manners has been employed by Roman satirists since as early as the 1st century BC. Horace's Satire 1.9 is a prominent example, in which the persona is unable to express his wish for his companion to leave, but instead subtly implies so through wit. William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing might be considered the first comedy of manners in England, but the genre really flourished during the Restoration period. Restoration comedy, which was influenced by Ben Jonson's Comedy of Humors, made fun of affected wit and acquired follies of the time. The masterpieces of the genre were the plays of William White Shirley, The Country Wife, 1675, and William Congreve, The Way of the World, 1700. In the late 18th century, Oliver Goldsmith, She Stoops to Conquer, 1773, and Richard Brinsley Sheridan, The Rivals, 1775. The School for Scandal, 1777, revived the form. The tradition of elaborate, artificial plotting and epigrammatic dialogue was carried on by the Irish playwright Oscar Wilde in Lady Windermere's Fan, 1892, and The Importance of Being Earnest, 1895. In the 20th century, the comedy of manners reappeared in the plays of the British dramatists Noel Coward, Hay Fever, 1925, and Somerset Maugham, and the novels of P.G. Wodehouse, as well as various British sitcoms. The Carry-On films are a direct descendant of the comedy of manners style. The term comedy of menace, which British drama critic Irving Wardle based on the subtitle of The Lunatic View, A Comedy of Menace, 1958, by David Campton, is a jocular play on words derived from the comedy of manners, menace being manners pronounced with a somewhat Judeo-English accent. Pinder's play The Homecoming has been described as a mid-20th century comedy of manners. In Boston Marriage, 1999, David Mamet chronicles a sexual relationship between two women, one of whom has her eye on yet another young woman who never appears, but who is the target of a seduction scheme. Periodically, the two women make their serving woman the butt of haughty jokes, serving to point up the satire on class. Though displaying the verbal dexterity one associates with both the playwright and the genre, the patina of wit occasionally erupts into shocking crudity. Other contemporary examples include Douglas Carter Beans as Bees in Honey Drown, The Country Club, The Little Dog Laughed, and the Jeeves and Wooster series by P.G. Wodehouse. The television program Absolutely Fabulous is another contemporary example of the comedy of manners.
So you heard now again the comedy of manners. So it is a comedy on the social standing of the people, social beliefs of the people, social standing peopleचे जे काही social standing आहे, social beliefs आहे त्याच्यावरती ती कॉमेडी केली असे. That is comedy of manners. And now John Etheridge was famously known for this work on comedy of manners. John Etheridge जो होता, John Etheridge, he was known for his work on comedy of manners. Okay. So notable dramatist of 18th century, we will see who were the notable dramatist of 18th century. Oliver Goldsmith was the first one who was notable, and another one was Richard Sheridan and Sheridan. These both actually brought again the comedy of manners. Okay, so now what if we will see what is sentimental comedy. सेंटिमेंटल कॉमेडी म्हणजे काय हे बघायचं आहे. त्याच्या अगोदर यू सी दिस कॉमिक ॲक्च्युअली आय एम शुअर यू विल अपियर परफेक्टली प्रोटीनेट डिअरेस्ट हर मदर मूवी प्रीमियरला ते जायचं आहे. अँड देन this is the comedy of manners actually here which I have shown, and then you will see here that they don't understand my life will literally be over if I choose wrong thing to wear. So they are saying that see how is the comedy of manners, that she is saying that her life will literally be over. ती असं म्हणते की ना लाईफ लिटरली ओव्हर होईल जर सपोज तिने काहीतरी चुकीचं चूज केलं घालण्यासाठी. ओके, सो दिस इज सेंटिमेंटल कॉमेडी. हे सेंटिमेंटल कॉमेडी आहे. सो सी व्हॉट इज सेंटिमेंटल कॉमेडी.
Sentimental comedy is an 18th century dramatic genre which sprang up as a reaction to the immoral tone of English Restoration plays. In sentimental comedies, middle-class protagonists triumphantly overcome a series of moral trials. These plays aim to produce tears rather than laughter and reflected contemporary philosophical conceptions of humans as inherently good but capable of being led astray by bad example. By appealing to his noble sentiments, a man could be reformed and set back on the path of virtue. While the plays contained characters whose natures seemed overly virtuous and whose problems were too easily resolved, they were accepted by audiences as truthful representations of the human predicament. The characters in sentimental comedy are either strictly good or bad. Heroes have no faults or bad habits. Villains are thoroughly evil or morally degraded. The author's purpose was to show the audience the innate goodness of people, and that through morality people who have been led astray can find the path of righteousness. The plot usually centered on the domestic trials of middle-class couples, and included romantic love scenes. Their private woes are exhibited with much emotional stress intended to arouse the spectator's pity and suspense in advance of the approaching happy ending. Lovers are often shown separated from each other by socioeconomic factors at the beginning, but brought together in the end by a discovery about the identity of the lower-class lover. Plots also contained an element of mystery to be solved. Verse was not used in order to create a closer illusion of reality. It was thought that rhyme would obscure the true meaning of the words and make the truth disappear. The playwrights of this genre aimed to bring the audience to tears, not laughter, as the name sentimental comedy might suggest. They believed that noisy laughter inhibited the silent sympathy and thought of the audience. Playwrights strove to touch the feelings of the spectators so that they could learn from the play and relate the events they witnessed on stage to their own lives, causing them to live more virtuously. The best-known work of this genre is Sir Richard Steele's The Conscious Lovers, 1722, in which the penniless heroine Indiana faces various tests until the discovery that she is an heiress leads to the necessary happy ending. Steele wished his plays to bring the audience a pleasure too exquisite for laughter. Steele was an Irish writer and politician, remembered mainly for co-founding the magazine The Spectator. While he wrote a few notable sentimental comedies, he was criticized for being a hypocrite as he wrote moral plays, booklets, and articles but enjoyed drinking, occasional dueling, and debauchery around town. Scholars argue whether a more important writer of the genre was Colley Cibber, an actor-manager, writer, and poet laureate who wrote the first sentimental comedy, Love's Last Shift, in order to give himself a role. The play did establish him as both an actor and a playwright, and though some of his 25 plays were praised, his political adaptations of well-known works met with much criticism. Neither Steele nor Colley, or any other writer, made a career of writing sentimental comedies as the genre was popular for only a short time. In fact, all of the authors of sentimental comedy at this time wrote other forms, including restoration comedy and tragedy. Sentimental comedies continued to coexist with more conventional laughing comedies such as Oliver Goldsmith's She Stoops to Conquer, 1773, and Richard Brinsley Sheridan's The Rivals, 1775, until the sentimental genre waned in the early 19th century.
So you heard what is sentimental comedy. Sentimental comedy is such a comedy which give importance actually in bringing out tears and emotions instead of laughter. Laughter पेक्षा emotion आणि tears बाहेर काढण्याचा प्रयत्न ते करायचे. And in the sentimental comedy the heroes were very good people and the villains had all the evils in them. असे लोक होते की ना ज्याच्यामध्ये सगळे इव्हिल्स आहेत, विलन्स म्हणजे, आणि हिरोज म्हणजे सगळं चांगलं आहे. In 18th century sentimental comedy or sentimentalism gained importance. 18th century मध्ये त्यांना इम्पॉर्टन्स आलं. Then this is what we saw, focused on producing emotion rather than laughter. The main focus was on producing emotion rather than laughter, and it was reaction to comedy of manners. हे रिएक्शन होतं कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स साठी. ओके, सो नाव वी सॉ कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स. कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स आपण बघितलेलं आहे. The Comedy of Manners was reviewed again later again by Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Sheridan. In doing so, they kept original brilliance and the dialogues of Restoration period, but removed the controversial and immoral elements to give it a Fendriel tone. Now, what happened? The Comedy of Manners, which was there in the Restoration period, was brought again in the 18th century by Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Sheridan. ह्या दोघांनी परत कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स आणलं दे केप्ट द ब्रिलियन्स अँड ऑफ द डायलॉग्स ऑफ रेस्टॉरेशन पिरियड, म्हणजे डायलॉग्सचं जे काही ब्रिलियन्स होतं ते जसंच्या तसंच ठेवलं. But the immoral and controversial elements which were there in the comedy of manners in the restoration time, म्हणजे restoration time मध्ये जे काही immoral elements दाखवले जायचे, controversial elements दाखवले जायचे, म्हणजे वादाचे एलिमेंट्स, immoral elements जे दाखवले जायचे ते त्यांनी काढून टाकलेले होते. and it came to the Fenway Road. The characteristics were firmly presented with clarity, just like in Ben Jonson's works, but they had no depth in Sheridan's world and no new interpretation of human nature. Okay, Ben Johnsonचं जे वर्क होतं, um, which belong to the comedy of manners, हे कॉमेडी ऑफ मॅनर्स जॉनराला जे बिलॉंग करणारं जे काही वर्क होतं बेन जॉन्सनचं, इट वॉज व्हेरी गुड वर्क ॲक्च्युली. इट वॉज प्रेझेंटेड व्हेरी क्लिअरली, द कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स वेर प्रेझेंटेड व्हेरी क्लिअरली, बट Sheridan's work was not that good. There was no new interpretation of the human nature. Nothing was there in his work. It was just the copy of some others' work. And so Sheridan's work was thus more like the Wilde, म्हणजे ऑस्कर वाईल्ड जो आला त्याच्यासारखं हे त्याचं वर्क होतं, रादर दॅन बेन जॉन्सन. बेन जॉन्सनच्या पेक्षा त्याचं हे वर्क ऑस्कर वाईल्डच्या सारखं होतं. ओके, सो दिस इज द लास्ट टॉपिक इन द कॉमेडी, इन द रेस्टोरेशन कॉमेडी. सो नोटेबल वर्क्स ऑफ दिस पीरियड आर ऑल फॉर लव बाय जॉर्ज ड्रायडन. All for Love by John Dryden. He is John Dryden. And then Way of the World by William Congreve. Way of the World आहे comedy. All for the Love was the tragedy, and Way of the World was comedy by William Congreve. Okay, so this is the end of Restoration comedy. Restoration comedy is ended here. म्हणजे रेस्टोरेशन पिरियड हा जो आहे हा इथे संपलेला आहे. वी विल जस्ट गो, इट्स द रिकॅप टाइम अँड वी विल जस्ट सी द माइंड मॅप ऑफ रेस्टोरेशन कॉमेडी. रेस्टोरेशन कॉमेडीचा एक माइंड मॅप बघून घेऊयात, रिकॅप करूयात आपण रेस्टोरेशन कॉमेडी. सो रेस्टोरेशन पिरियड वॉज 1660 ऑनवर्ड. 1660 पासून हा पिरियड चालू झालेला आहे. देन in this very different kind of literature, dramatic literature was produced. Notable dramatists were Chapman, Thomas Middleton, Webster, Dekker, George Etheridge. And then in 1660 Charles II came on the throne and the theatre reopened. Comedy reached its peak. Then class-based drama. Class-based drama means what we saw. Class-based drama was such a drama which was based on the characteristics and beliefs of upper class people. अप्पर क्लास पीपलचे जे काही कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स आणि बिलीफ्स होते त्याच्यावरती डिपेंडंट असणारा हा ड्रामा होता. इन 17th century the closed theater gained importance, and there was increasing attention to the scenic devices. John Etheridge known for comedy of manners. Then notable dramatists of 18th century were Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Sheridan. And then in 18th century sentimentalism gained importance, and in this sentimentalism the focus was on producing emotion, and it was reaction to comedy of manners. Comedy of manners was again by Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Sheridan. The original brilliance of restoration was maintained. ह्याच्यामध्ये ओरिजिनल ब्रिलियन्स जो होता डायलॉग्सचा रेस्टोरेशनचा तो मेंटेन केलेला होता, पण जे कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल इमॉरल एलिमेंट्स होते ते सगळे रिमूव्ह केलेले होते. ओके, नोटेबल वर्क्स आपण बघितले कुठले होते. ऑल फॉर लव बाय जॉन ड्रायडन अँड वे ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बाय विलियम कॉनग्रेव. हे नोटेबल वर्क्स होते रेस्टोरेशन पिरियड मध्ये. ओके, so we will start with the next period, that is the modern theater. Modern theater हा नवीन पिरियड होता नंतरचा. So you see There is something which I want to show through this slide. See, there are lightning and everything in this slide. So this was the modern theater, and see, you can see that the modern theater was such a theater where the lightning was there. She is Queen Victoria who came on the throne, and then in her period the modern theater was started. So let us see what is the modern theater. This is the first part of modern theater. So elements of modern theater. Modern theater चे जे काही elements आहेत ते बघूयात actually. So elements of modern theater like picture frame stage, actresses taking female part, art, movable scenery and artificial light was developed during restoration period. आता modern theater मध्ये काय झालेलं आहे ते बघा. ओके, मॉडर्न थिएटर मध्ये पिक्चर फ्रेम स्टेज चालू झाले. ओके, पिक्चर फ्रेम स्टेज मीन्स देर वेर पिक्चर्स ऑफ द सीनरीज. There were no, means if the trees were there, there were the pictures of the trees. Okay, if the palace was there, there were the picture of the palace. So in this time, the pictures frame stage was there. The actresses were taking the female part. ॲक्ट्रेसेस जे आहेत ते फिमेल पार्ट घ्यायला त्यांनी सुरुवात केली. मग आतापर्यंत काय व्हायचं, जो जो काही फिमेल पार्ट आहे तो मेल ॲक्टरच प्ले करायचा. ही यूज टू ड्रेस अप हिमसेल्फ ॲज अ फिमेल अँड ही यूज टू प्ले दॅट फिमेल पार्ट. बट see here I have written before closing of the theaters all the roles were played by males, means the female parts also were played by males only. There was movable scenery, artificial light was also there, and all this was actually developed during the restoration period only. restoration period मध्येच हे सगळं डेव्हलप व्हायला हळूहळू सुरुवात झालेली होती. ओके, so in early 19th century what was the condition? You see, in early 19th century, sorry, in early 19th century actually the drama was on decline. I have written that here, just a second. So don't know why it is not playing. In early 19th century the drama was on decline. It was completely declined. So what we will see why it was decline also. तो डिक्लाइन मध्ये का होता हे पण आपण बघूयात. ते प्ले का होत नाहीये हे समजत नाहीये मला ऍक्च्युली. Okay, see here only it's not playing. The drama was on decline in early 19th century, and why the drama was on decline, there are two reasons actually why the drama was on decline in early 19th century. The drama was on decline in early 19th century because there were just two influential theaters were there. दोनच influential theaters होते. One reason was that exclusive legal rights to showcase performances of serious drama was held by two influential theatres, the House of Covent Garden and Drury Lane. हे जे दोन थिएटर्स आहेत त्यांनाच राईट्स होते ॲक्च्युली सिरियस ड्रामा प्ले करण्याचा. दुसऱ्या कोणालाही राईट्स नव्हते सिरियस ड्रामा प्ले करण्याचा. So the legal rights were given to these two theatres only, and so at this time the drama was on decline. त्यामुळं हा ड्रामा डिक्लाईनमध्ये होता. दिस इज द फर्स्ट रिझन. अँड द सेकंड reason is that the audience of 19th century did not have intelligence and imagination of Elizabethan audience. You see the picture here, actually they are watching the a drama, and what they are doing, you can see they are merrymaking here. So they did not have intelligence of Elizabethan audience. त्यांचा इंटेलिजन्स नव्हता तेवढा, ते ड्रामा समजण्या इतका त्यांचा इंटेलिजन्स नव्हता. More than the anything, the problem was that the play did not relate to 19th century life. सगळ्यात मोठा प्रॉब्लेम काय होता, तर 19th सेंचुरीची जी लाईफ होती त्याच्याशी ते रिलेटेड ते प्लेज नव्हते. ओके. अँड द चेंजेस इन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द सोसायटी had influenced the personalities of the people so greatly that new approach was needed. Now these dramas actually were based on the old approach only. हे जे ड्रामाज आहेत ते फक्त ओल्ड अप्रोच वरतीच बेस्ड होते. पण आता जे ऑडियन्स होतं ते सगळे न्यू अप्रोचेसकडे, किंवा आपण असं म्हणू की ना मॉडर्निझमकडे जात होते. अँड सो सम चेंजेस वेर नीडेड, अँड सो ॲट दिस टाइम द ड्रामा वॉज ऑन डिक्लाइन. म्हणून या काळामध्ये ड्रामा डिक्लाइनमध्ये होता. सो सी द नोटेबल ड्रामॅटिस्ट ऑफ दिस टाइम. Notable dramatist of this time was Henrik Ibsen, then George Bernard Shaw, who is known as G.B. Shaw also, and Oscar Wilde. These are the notable dramatists of this time. So notable works of this period, you see, the notable works of this period is first Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. हा एक नोटेबल वर्क होता ह्या पिरियड मधला. Then Candida by George Bernard Shaw, then A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, and Enemy of the People by Henrik Ibsen again. These are the notable works of this period. Okay. So let us see actually the mind map of this also, and then we will finish with our lecture. मग आपण ह्या लेक्चरला फिनिश करूयात. आपण ह्याचा माइंड मॅप बघून घेऊयात. 1-2 मिनिटांमध्ये तो माइंड मॅप कंप्लीट होईल. इट्स अ व्हेरी स्मॉल माइंड मॅप because nothing happened during this period, nothing much took place during this period. Modern theater होता 1837 to 1901. So notable works होते Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, Candida by G.B. Shaw, A Doll's House, and Enemy of the People by Henrik Ibsen. Then notable dramatists is Ibsen, G.B. Shaw, and Oscar Wilde. Then early 19th century drama was on decline because serious drama performances were held only by the House of Covent Garden and Length. And then audience lacked the intelligence and imagination of Renaissance period, म्हणून ड्रामा डिक्लाइन मध्ये होता. Then the elements of modern drama were developed during the period of restoration only. रेस्टोरेशनच्या पिरियड मध्येच एलिमेंट्स जे आहेत मॉडर्न ड्रामाचे ते सगळे डेव्हलप झालेले होते. ओके. सो आय थिंक यू अंडरस्टूड. Sorry, I was not able to play that slide actually. I don't know what happened to this slide. I was not able to play this slide, but just remember that in the slide I had written that drama of early 19th century was on decline. मी असं लिहिलेलं होतं. So I'm extremely sorry for that. I was not able to play it. I think you have understood the periods which we learned today, the restoration period and the modern period. This is modern period 1, which is the period of Queen Victoria. I think you have understood this. Thank you very much. In the next lecture we are going to begin with the modern theater 2, and then postmodern theater and Indian theater. हे 3 पिरियड्स राहिलेले आहेत ते आपण नेक्स्ट लेक्चरमध्ये आपण कंप्लीट करणार आहोत. And then we are going to see just a timeline of this, and then we are going to take a recap of all these periods which we have studied. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.